All right, here we go. Busy Ran. What are you doing here, man? Normally you don't come up in the chat, so pulling up chairs. Well, we'll see what happens, man. If we don't get our people coming in, we'll make. If nobody comes in, um, then we'll do something else. I meant to do this earlier because this is actually a continuation of Dr. Thunder's broadcast. In fact, I might play it. So the discussion that went on with Dr. Thunder and me, Hood Server, and a few others, man. To kind of give you guys context. So let's see if I can find it real quick so you guys can get an idea of what we're actually doing. Okay, this is actually came up on Dr. Thunder's Friday panel, and which because he was actually talking about my thing about the table, and we had a lively discussion. Uh, and we had a lively debate. But the thing is, normally when I'm normally when I come up on a panel, I get people that, that see me come up and they want to have a debate with me on somebody else's panel, and I don't really like to do that, especially when the panel's kind of controlled and we got a whole bunch of people with different voices, and they want to have an hour debate that's probably not going to go anywhere, and slow the channel down. Now, some panels like Art New Style, they give us kind of room to do that, so we can kind of go back and forth a little bit. Um, and they can Art allows you to be contentious because he's going to be on there for 6 hours, so it's okay. But Doc's got a limited amount of time, and I came up to answer a few questions, give my side of the story, and have a back and forth. And but then people like Hood Server, they want to come up, and we want to have a whole 2 hour debate, okay, about something that I said, and the goalposts keep moving. It's not about one thing. Okay, okay, I answer one thing. Okay, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And it goes on forever. So I always say, okay, oh no, no problem, no problem. I'm just explaining to them. Said, um, if it were my channel, in my channel, I would have, I could take as much time as I needed as to go back and forth with a person. But I don't like doing that on somebody else's in somebody else's house, okay? Because I'm not doing my show and my stuff on somebody else's channel. I think that's disrespectful. Unless he says, "Okay, BGS, okay, let's see what you got. Go ahead, pull up the receipts, and we'll go through it." Then I'll go through it. But the thing is, I don't, I always say if you really want those questions answered, because it's going to take a minute, come to my channel. I'll be glad to show you the receipts there. I'll be glad to show you the receipts over there. But I'm not going to do it on somebody else's channel on somebody else's time without their permission. So I always offer that. So people think that when you come over here, if you come over here and you're respectful, man, I'll give you as much time as you need. But I have no problem going on somebody else's channel and debating them. Okay. What I don't like is a whole bunch of people yelling, because when it happens over here, I stop it. If two people are talking and they're going back and forth, if somebody else tries to jump in and say, I stop them. Hey, no, let homeboy answer it. Okay, let him answer his own question. Stop jumping in. So I break all that stuff up. People don't always. Dr. Thunder actually did that. Because he's an academic. Because you get 4 or 5 people wanting to jump in on the same discussion, instead of, and the person that actually asked the question or had the disagreement, um, um, they get blocked. instead of the two people actually coming to an agreement. And it never stays in one place because uh, unfortunately most people want to be right. And so it gets to a point where not that you're having a discussion about a point of trying to be accurate. They want to be right. They want to win a debate. All right. And let me go ahead and play this, so you guys can get some kind of context about what this is about, since we don't have anybody in the chat that was actually up there. So I'm gonna give you guys some context. Um, Normally I don't do this, but we're gonna do this today. Okay. Okay. This is and by the way, if you haven't subscribed to Doc, go to Doc. I will only up there maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I'm not sure exactly how long, but Doc was always well into like an hour and a half when I got up there. So go see the full show. Go give him some support. Um, Go give them a like if you guys want to see the whole thing, because they were already on when I got there. When I woke up, I heard them talking about the table, and I heard I had heard something I wanted to respond to, so that's why I jumped in. So we're gonna go do a little bit of this, and to give you guys some context about what this is about.
Together, the LGBT community and all these nefarious agendas could not penetrate the family unit.
So you gotta understand this. No matter what society you look at across any period of time, your society always has some impact upon your family. You don't get to there's no island that any individual family or man lives unto himself. It doesn't exist. No matter how much we want to believe that is the case, never has been. But I get where you're coming from, where that men ultimately had more agency over how their children were raised. That much is true. Now, what I'm getting at though is that insofar as the societies as they're structured today, in at least in the Western countries and most countries actually at this point, um, essentially you don't have the ability to stop these sorts of infiltrations when it comes to the children, not even when it comes to women's authority, especially not here in the West, not especially not here in the West. And when you're talking about things such as these agendas that we're talking about,
E- e- e-
they're
Even
they're
e-
pervasive.
even white men don't have that kind of power. Okay, this is not just here. It's in, all of the Western world. Okay, parents pat to the eye. They can come in. They can snatch your kids from the hospital because they don't belong to you. They belong to the state.
Mm.
That's like other than if that was the case, then fathers could come and get their kids 50-50. A judge couldn't appoint who gets your children. Okay, go. You have kids, sir?
Are you talking about Kasank or
Yeah, yeah. Because I
yeah,
the ones debating this. Do you have
yeah.
children? Okay. You ever sign forms for your kids to go to school? In other words, it says parents or guardian, right? Okay, those are
Mm.
rights. Those are not before parents back to the eye in the 18th century. Basically, the father owned the children. Okay, the father's rights, the father's claim was superior to the courts. Okay, but after 1804, that was no longer the case. Court of Chancery in parents back to the eye says that the children that the state who acts as father. Uh, are actually guardians of the ultimate guardian of the children.
But the point I'm making, BGS, is you're talking of you're what I think you're saying is you're skipping over something. It doesn't matter at that point if the woman that's raising your child, if the man that's raising your child is not active in terms of filtering out the negative things that
That's
come their way.
that ain't true because Doctor Thunder is in an institution where this institution changes children's mind coming from two-parent households, and by the time they come up on 4 or 5 years of being in that institution, they're different people.
No, I'm not
100%.
talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm
No, no,
talking about
he's
just
he's in a
basic.
major institution where those people are different people.
I'm just talking about basic behavior, not being overly emotional, not starting fights, not twerking. I'm talking about the basic behavior. I understand where you're coming from, but there's just a lack of the basics of training in our community where we see that we're seeing repeated like fights, women acting like men, and this is being indoctrinated by the lack of parenting within the household.
Where did they learn that? Because it's over time. Where did they learn that? It didn't start with my generation. Didn't start with the silent generation. The first time kids really start acting out like that is when they took actually took what is it, discipline out of the school, physical discipline out of the school.
Right. But the thing is what's your role and responsibility then? It's to be the enforcer of what's right and wrong.
What your responsibility was take your children out of that system. Okay, the Preston school.
Hey man,
School system,
is
the
it
best
just me or
brainwashing
is
system ever
BGS
invented
lagging
man to
in and
man.
out?
Okay, it's used all over the freaking world. Can you hear me?
You're
Yeah,
lagging
we
in
can
and
hear you.
out,
I
but I
can't
can hear
hear.
you
Okay, am I breaking up?
Yeah,
just
we
a
can hear
bit.
you better now. You're clear now.
Okay. All right. In other words, that's how come me and Dr. GGS dug this stuff up, where the stuff actually comes from, right? The Prussian school system, the social contract, all that stuff. Number one, that no, I don't care who you are. Okay, how good a parent you are. Okay, you're not going to beat out the environment that surrounds you, right? What do you think the Amish and people like that separate themselves from the environment?
Yep.
Yeah.
But okay, I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because if what you're
No,
saying is true,
No. Go ahead. I want to hear it because you can disagree with things, but you have no proof of it. Go ahead.
I do. Okay,
no,
so
no, no,
what
no.
who's
Hey,
wait,
hey,
can I
hey, hey,
finish? Can I
hey,
finish?
but check that out.
Let's
The
finish.
conversation right now, we're just gonna have BGS and Kasong talk. So
I'll go on mute.
let's not have any cross talk because it makes it hard to understand what's going on. Go ahead, Kasong.
Okay, thank you. If what you were saying was true, BGS,
Mm-hmm.
then you would have a society in collapse. People know when the light turns red to stop. People know to get up and go to work. Those are taught at a young age to go along with the society rules. Society rules says you don't walk around naked in public. There are certain core moral behaviors that we adhere to. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And now what you're saying is, I'm not denying what you're saying, that we're being indoctrinated through those agendas. But what I'm saying, at the core of this, the family unit does instill those certain moral behaviors that actually keep them in check.
Who trains the parents, sir, over
Their
generations? No, who
their
trains the
parents
parents?
before
No,
them.
no, 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 no. Where do their parents go to a different school in a different country?
No,
Where'd they go to school at?
no, I get what you're saying.
No. I don't stop right there. And you don't get what I'm saying because you know what I'm saying. Where did they learn this stuff? Where did parents learn this stuff?
They learned it from school, going back to the early 60s, 50s, 40s.
1972, there's a reason the feminists in the Title IX took over the educational system. There was a reason for that because they've slowly indoctrinated these children over 4 generations. You're looking at it because every time I can't tell you, Doc hears it when he comes. Doc has been trained in this kind of stuff. He knows feminist talk when it comes out of their mouth. Sir,
Okay,
did I not let you talk?
go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Doc knows this because Doc is trained in this stuff, right? He can't. Doc cannot get his PhD without feminist training. Okay, you cannot. You have to. You have to access yourself to feminist training to get a PhD. Doc knows the language. He knows with these kids, especially these kids nowadays, when it comes out of their freaking mouths, the LGBTQ, the cis, all that language come out of the universities, comes out of the teaching, and when those kids grow up, and we call it, me and Dr. Johnson called it, the trash goes out on Tuesday, right? In other words, those kids come out of feminist trained schools, right? They go into corporations, they put it in media, they put it in education, and then they train the parents of those kids. And so by the time those kids those kids become adults and start having kids, what are they going to teach their kids?
Okay.
They're going to teach them their worldview. That's what you see. You can see that. You can see that all over the world. It's not just here. Okay, it's not just here.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, all right? And we're dealing with social engineering and epigenetics. Does Title IX say not to go to work? Does Title IX say that you can commit crimes? It doesn't.
The thing is, have crimes always been with us?
That's true, but crimes are not the de facto norm that's going on in this country.
If crimes in this, have you ever been to a third world country where crimes are norm?
Yes, I'm a
And,
passport
and
brother. Yes,
in other words, the United States is very functional. The United States is not a klepto state, right? It doesn't go on here. We would it is in comparison to other parts of the world. Okay, it's a very functioning, highly functional, highly regulated country, and it still is. And people adhere to that even today. Otherwise, during COVID, they'd have just ransacked the whole country. They didn't.
that's what I'm saying. You're
But
making my point. That's what
because
I'm saying.
go ahead, Doc.
Okay, hey, real quick. It seems like it doesn't seem like we're going to move anywhere on this
Uh,
particular point.
okay.
Um, but I want to include Hood Servative into the conversation. Hood Servative, what do you have to add? But before I do that, Green Beret with the 199 addition to the Friday post workout sandwich fund. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for that.
and BGS tax is in effect if you guys are following me.
All right, please, yeah. I don't mind collecting some tax dollars. Anyhow, uh, and then Salty Ball says salute.
Show I didn't even know what you had. But what I don't understand is the nature of the debate. Like, so the phrase returning to the table it means that we're negotiating again.
Yeah, yeah.
What are we negotiating exactly? Because from what I can tell, and you kind of made some interesting observations just now, talking about like the nature of the government and the school system and all that.
Okay, well, let's
I
stick, let's
mean,
stick, let's stick with the table first. One point at a time, right? Instead of
yeah,
making
no,
all these
I'm making. Let me just kind of tie
no,
it
no, no,
together.
no. One point at a time. Okay, tied together
No,
later.
it is one point. It is one point. Let me just say
Okay,
this.
okay. Make
Let me say
okay.
this.
I'm losing you. Okay.
I know. Give me a second. What is being negotiated specifically that actually that men actually want? Because as far as I can tell, the state owns the women and the women own the children.
And
And in a
they own
scenario like
no,
that, what are you really going to get negotiating with her?
the state owns you too, but that's beside the point. But okay, the whole table concept, right? Did you guys even listen to me when I actually did asked you my monologue at the very beginning?
Well,
Did you
this is
listen?
why I said forgive me
No, no,
if I
no, no,
kind
no,
of
no,
force you to
no, no,
retread
no,
some
no, no,
stuff.
no, no. Did you listen? Did you listen to my? Because you keep saying this. Did you listen to my? I actually did a 40-minute monologue at the very beginning. Did you listen to it?
No, I'm only listening to Dr. Thunder's show. I didn't even know what you had done before
Well,
this,
well,
so I'm kind of new to the whole thing.
then, okay. The thing is, you asked me to explain. Okay, the whole table concept. Okay, where it came from is that brothers in this space. Okay, would not believe what that women are on some kind of stuff unless it comes out of their mouths. Okay, that's how come the women have. That's how come the women have to come back to the table and negotiate. So one, for the brothers to actually put in their bid, whatever it is their bid that they think they want, and two, to see what the response from the women is going to come back, so they can actually know the truth about who the women are and what they want. Because they're not going to believe us. Because I've been trying for 7 years. I always get the pushback. Okay, BGS, but okay, well the women are like this, and they're not. Okay, they can't change fast enough because of the environment. Blah blah blah. BGS, but I still want a black woman. But I think if I'm this kind of man, that kind of man, I can negotiate with her. Okay, well you're not going to believe me unless she comes back to the table. Fine, ask her and see if you get that answer. That's what the table is. That's why I wanted
Okay,
them to come back to the table.
all right. This is where I'm trying to catch up to. So your position is they are coming back to the table
They are
only
back
so
to the
you
table.
niggas can learn your final
No,
lesson,
no,
not
no,
that
no.
it's going to be a fruitful negotiation.
What I'm saying, that's why that's why it need for them to come back to the table for the men. They're coming back to the table is because the economic stress. They need a man. Okay, but the thing is, they're not wives; they're partners. Okay, and most guys want wives. Okay, the things that guys want, the things that guys ask for. Dr. Thunder, I've been saying this for years. Women in this society, especially in the West, are trained to be partners. Okay, and not wives. And black women are
Mhm.
also partners. Okay, and the thing is, what you guys are asking for is wives. You guys think that you can make wives out of these women because I've been hearing this for 8 years. Y'all, a lot of these guys think they can make wives out of these women by being a better man or being an alpha guy or earning more money or whatever it is, right? If I can just sit down and talk to her and convince her, she can become a wife. But unless you sit down and talk to her and actually try to negotiate with her, you'll find out, wait a minute, there's not much I can do with this. I either accept her as she is or move on. And that's what I want.
You know what? I think I understand you well now, and I actually support everything you just said because it's stupid. It's like, and I love this song. And I keep saying it over and over again. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore, and that's where you're kind of describing that effect. Like dudes think we're still in love, and they want to have these love conversations. And maybe if I can convince her that I truly love her, like she needs to be loved,
Yes.
she'll love me in return.
Yes.
And
Yes.
oh God, stop it! It's over.
What did Tina Turner say? What's love got to do with it, right?
Yeah, man, that's the next song. I keep forgetting we're not in love, and she says, "What's love got to do with it?" Those songs go together.
In other words, marriage. If you look back at the history of marriage is a way to arrange people so that you can raise children, so that you can get human resources that keep your country going, right? To keep your society going. That's what it's there for. It's been that way since the very beginning. That's what marriage is for.
Forever.
Forever. It's not this. I mean, I'm not crapping on people's beliefs or what they believe as far as the indoctrination, the religion and stuff like that, the esoteric meaning of marriage. I'm not even talking about that. The original reason for marriage is to organize people, organize couples to raise children. So raise children be raised properly so they can fit into society. That's what it's there for. But the state has taken over that role.
I think you missed when I was saying that there's been a lot of damage and there's no negotiation when you are dealing with people who basically or women who are basically race traders.
I
Okay,
don't see. Number one, I don't know. Not to
go ahead.
step on you, BGS, but I don't see how that's any of our question. That's a personal problem, bruh. You got to figure that out. I
And
don't know what to tell you.
go back. Go back if you really want to know. And the thing is, people in this space do not know. PK knows how much work we have actually done with this stuff. We've read the books, okay? We've read the history. We've dug this stuff out, right? We've done almost an academic study on this thing, right? The black women were never yours. They were never brought here to be your wives, okay? The black the 1750 basically because they wanted to have perpetual slaves, they made the black race of the Negro into a perpetual matriarchy that's never gone away.
I agree
Never
with
gone
that.
away.
I agree
Never
with
gone
that.
away. All if you go back and look at Frazier's book, you look at Du Bois's book with the Philadelphia Negro, black women are pretty much essentially the same people. They're just in different environment. They're the same people. They ain't changed.
So, I mean, ultimately, like I said, as BGS eloquently put, and he explained that, we're basically giving you a weather report and telling you why things the way they are, okay,
Yeah.
and then we're telling you make the decision. That's it.
If you really want to bust your noodle, which no academics is going to talk about, go back and read Clark's book, the Dark Ghetto, right?
Yep.
And the tangle of pathology. What you're living through right now, as far as the black community, is tangle of pathology, where whorish behavior, ghetto behavior, thug behavior that was like maybe 10% of the lower class, right? Back in 1965, is the dominant factor in black society, going from the ghetto dweller all the way up to the C suites, right? With the tattoos and the thug behavior and the language. Okay. Doc, I tell you, 30 years ago, Dr. Thunder would have been the epitome of what black men are, right? The suit, the tie, the proper language. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Dr. Thunder was the icon of what the epitome of black people are. Tangle pathology has ran through all of that. Dr. Thunder is no longer the icon of what a black man is supposed to be when he's supposed to be in a higher class. Okay, he's not that anymore. He used to be.
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge a couple folks. This has been a great conversation. Thanks
I think it was Dr. Thunder. I don't remember. I might have been.
for ADOS with the $5 beach.
Yeah, and I think people have to be aware. Like you have like black manosphere. I think you need more like what you call it intellectuals like people like Green.
Come to my channel in about an hour. I could shoot
So I see,
jobs. Yeah. Yep.
yep,
Yep.
I
He's
see this
100%.
yep, I see this in Los Angeles now, and ask them.
Epitome of what black men are, right? The suit, the tie, the proper language. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Dr. Thunder was the icon of what the epitome of black people are. Tangular pathology has ran through all of that. Dr. Thunder is no longer the icon of what a black man is supposed to be when he's supposed to be in a higher class. Okay, he's not that anymore. He used to be.
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge a couple folks. This has been a great conversation. Thanks for coming in, BGS. Thanks for everybody, Hood Servative, everybody that's been Kassan, PK Angel, J Lion, G Money was in here, Golden Child was in here earlier. I want to acknowledge a couple things. Let's see here. Mr. Donnie Mack with the BGS Tax Healthy Conversation. BGS Tax salute to the panel from Otis. Thank you very much. Toya with the $5 ducats for Dr. Thunder. Thank you for those ducats. And let's see here. Sister George with the BGS Tax. Thank you very much for that. MC Recovery in Relapse 2-family household structure is misplaced with go to college or get two
Get two
jobs.
jobs. Yeah. Yep.
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 I see
100%.
I see this in Los Angeles now, and ask them, Black women and Latinos, rather, a crossover. Yep.
Well, you know what? I hear this from Dr. Johnson, right? He gets Latino students in college, and they come out something almost the same thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
it sounds the same way. I'm sure
Yep.
Dr. Thunder's in college. He sees these kids, and he sees them from freshmen all the way to they graduate. He sees the change. Okay.
I don't think it was Dr. Thunder. I don't remember. It might have been Art New Style a couple years ago. I was like, man, this change is happening at an even more rapid pace. It isn't as though this is going to take as many generations as people think anymore. Like this shit isn't. This stuff. Sorry,
Yeah.
not to. This stuff is accelerating.
Yeah.
If you recall, during the pandemic, it was Trump who had noticed that they were putting into the foreign packages and the stimulus packages and all that feminist what do you call it, feminist curriculums that were going out to like the Middle East and things of that nature, and it actually alarmed him, and he had brought that up.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do my show or my stuff on Dr. Thunders because I don't want to derail what he's got going on. So I'm gonna there's a reason for that. I actually done a whole series on why that is, and the thing is it's structural. It's as if you adopt a structure and as you build, you're actually going to adopt feminism. Feminism is just an effect. It's not a cause. Look, in South Korea went from non agrarian, highly patriarchal, father centered country into a feminist country within 60 years.
Well, see, I don't think that is a natural path, though. You say it's an effect as if it's just the natural result of something, and I disagree. I think it's an ideological grip more than a structural effect.
No. You could come to my channel in about an hour. I could run it down to you and show you the documents, okay, and show you the effect. I've been doing this too long. I'm not going to argue on Dr. Thunder's channel.
Let's not argue, but I'm still going to make the point that I don't know that anyone can make a case that
I have made
because we live in the modern world, it automatically means women get to be in charge. I would love to see that.
I have made the case already, okay?
So modernity means feminism.
I have made the case already.
It's a cycle.
Do it here. Go ahead, Doctor.
It's a cycle, but anyhow, let's Black Wizard ADOS with the five.
I had my whatchamacallit up. Okay, no sound. All right. What I'm saying is, um, feminism is an effect, okay, and not a cause. To repeat myself, um, what has gone on, what happened is that when the Industrial Revolution actually happened, they took the kids out of the home and the women out of the home and put them into the factories. And then there was dispute with the women now being able to actually earn a living and being able to live separately from the father, separately from the father's house or the husband's house. Um, but things under patriarchy, they had no claim to their wealth or the children. So in 1804, this when the Court of Chancery um, decided to start arbitrating who actually has claims to the kid, but it still was not in common law until 1839 with the 10 years doctrine, where the first 7 years the mother had the ultimate claim over the child, and the court had the right to actually arbitrate who gets the children. So basically, in a sense, the court now gives you rights instead of claims because they had superseded the claim of the father. So basically, pretty much killed the patriarchy in 1804. And that's under the conditions of the Industrial Revolution, or what we call the modern era. And you can see this stuff happen as the industrial might or the industrial structure actually goes from city to city and from country to country. Wherever it lands, eventually the woman will actually have independence from the father, and then have to arbitrate who gets the kid. But now, since you already have a precedent of the 10 years doctrine, uh, they've already said that the mother's claim, the mother's right, is superior to yours, and that's parents patriae, and that's a structure. So as you modernize, as you bring in these ideologies, in fact, I've actually presented this before. In fact, I did this about demographics maybe like 2 weeks ago in a Black Pill presentation, and the people that have been with me, um, they're actually they probably will recognize this. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Anybody that has been with me has probably seen this chart. Let's see, documents. And this chart comes from Carol Quigley, okay, Tragedy and Hope, which is the model that the world actually runs on, right? The Western world actually uses this model. They've been trying to they have been trying to uh, uh, defeat this. Okay, they've been trying to defeat this model. Okay, uh, and the seven different parts of Western ideology, right? Uh, Western civilization, right? The pillars, right? Okay, ideology with them started first, right? And then weapons, and then agriculture, industry, sanitation and medicine in urban centers. Then they had a demographic explosion, and then they had revolution in transportation and communications. But as quickly says, other like Asia got this out of order, right? Especially China, right? Okay. Instead of ideology, they got weapons first, okay, and then transportation, okay, and then once they grew, sanitation and medicine for the urban areas, and then they got the machines. They didn't get the machines first; they got weapons first, right? They had to build this stuff up first, and then get this, and then once they got these, they got this, right? Once you get this, you get this, right? The demographic explosion. Then you have to feed these people. Okay, this is out of order. And then guess what's last? Western ideology. Feminism is part of Western ideology. It's a natural outgrowth of Western ideology. If you put these things in, these pillars in, this is going to follow. And if you look at the demographic cycle, the demographic progression, okay, wherever it lands, and then we studied like I think me and Nameless actually studied about 50 countries. Wherever this shit lands, this is what happens. Okay, started in Western Europe first, northern Western Europe first. It moved to America. Okay, it moved to Central Europe. Central Europe. Um, it moved to Russia. It moved to the Middle East. It moved to Asia last, okay, as they started to develop with this kind of stuff. Japan was first. Japan has been on this stuff because they got these pillars early. Okay, it's like Japan is ahead of everybody as far as this Western civilization stuff, feminism, the lack of family, all that kind of crap. Right? It's been in Japan for a very long time. Korea's got it late, but wherever it lands, this stuff, this kind of stuff is actually going to show up. It's showing up in Africa because I get reports all the time. Hey man, it's here. Hey man, these chicks are on something. Hey man, these single mothers are growing. Okay, Th- th- this stuff is structural. And trust and believe, man, because I have too many guys that are overseas that go to their leaders, when they're doing business, and these guys are higher up in business and in government, and they start mentioning this stuff. They agree. Yeah, we see it already. We're trying to keep it out, but there's only so long you can actually keep it out, right? This LGBTQ, you can keep it out for a while. Keep it out for a while because LGBTQ in this country, it took about 100 years, okay? And they're just now, it's just now starting to crack the surface. Okay, they're behind us. They're like 20, 30, maybe sometimes even 50 years behind us, but it's going to come. If you develop to this cycle, or develop to this particular how can I say it, to this particular point of development, it's actually going to follow. So so you can keep it out for a while, but you're going to get it. It's the new civil rights. It's the old civil rights. What are the civil rights, man? Hot sauce. Or yeah, I'm not gonna get hot sauce in trouble, but hot sauce is seeing it. He's in China. Well, like I said, it will happen. Actually, it's already here. Hot sauce in China already. So it's already, it's already there. The thing is, has it progressed to the point where we are? Probably not, but it's there. It's budding. But um, since we don't have our guest on with us, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, and hopefully our guest will show up. So you, if you have a difference of opinion, because that's what this is for. Not necessarily the people in agreement. A lot of you guys that already been here have already seen this. Okay, have already seen this. That's why it's a tabletop point 2.0, right? A lot of people are trying to stop something that they can't stop. Okay, if you go someplace else, you go to the continent, you go to Latin America, okay, you're going back in time a little bit, right? It doesn't mean that it won't be there. It's not going to show up there. It's going to show up there. The thing is, you got some lag time between the first world and the third world. All you got is lag time. Eventually, their mothers that are learning this about feminism, independence, are actually going to start feeding it to their daughters. And when their daughters grow up, it's going to ebb. So that traditional life, a traditional marriage is going to start to ebb. Uh, Basically, um, O'Shea was just in Uganda, right? Uganda just started to develop, right? And these women are already starting to be on this kind of time. They're already mouthing these words, okay? They're hearing it from their sisters over here, but the thing is, they're starting to mouth these words over there. So it's gonna follow you. Well, cyclical, yeah, because development is cyclical. The thing is, the next phase is going to be something completely different, which is outside the scope of this discussion. Everything depends on the environment that you're in. People always adapt to the environment. They always adapt. That's why I always say the environment first. That's how I know that the table was actually going to come, right? Women had to come back because they have to. The environment says they have to. And as far as the prostitution, I knew that was going to come 5, 6 years ago, because the government cannot hire all these women. They can't take care of all these women. Okay, have to allow them to make a living. What do they have? They got their bodies. Let them go out and sell it. They don't want to get married. They want to have husbands. Let them go out and sell it. Eventually, marriage is going to. What will cause marriage to actually collapse is women want to be independent, and plus, once men get their sexual needs met, marriage is going to decline like a nosedive. If the society does not enforce marital rules, it will collapse. I mean, you have to be socialized to get married, socialized to have a family, socialized to be a father and a mother. You have to be socialized to do that. That does not, in the way that we think it is, does not come naturally. You have to be taught. If you don't teach it, it's not going to happen. The thing is, why do you go overseas? Because they still teach women how to be wives, women how to serve, women how to play their role, women that have duty as far as marriage is concerned. The black community stopped teaching that back in the 60s, really back in the 50s. Black women started, my mother, my grandmother started teaching these women to be independent back in the 50s. Really, they started back in the 30s. Okay. If you go back and read uh, uh, some of these books, black women have always sought to be independent from their men. They've always been on that. Anyway, let me answer some questions. Yeah, he got feminists on his payroll. Yeah, Kinganda, they do. As you develop, it's going to follow you. The societal pendulum is really the pendulum is this, okay? There's supposed to be some kind of balance. It's an agreement between men and women in society. Okay, you need men to buy in. If they don't get anything, they're not going to give you anything. So that's where the pendulum comes in. You can't take too much from the men. If you do that, they're not going to actually participate. They won't. So they have to go back the other way. So men and women should have equal say over the kids. To me, the fact that only one side has default power renders the whole system a lie and a scam. Basically, and this is something that they said, and this is something that came out of 10 years doctrine, right? Um, why they were against it, right? If you give women money and their children, they won't stay married. They will not stay married if you give the women rights to the kids. Okay. What claim does the father have if the women can take her children and take half your wealth? Why should she get married? Okay. Why should she stay in a marriage? And all that happened in the 1970s when under the Great Society is they finally gave women what they wanted. Okay. You can actually get out of your marriage without a claim. So if you have kids and if you have kids and you have wealth, okay, you can actually get out of the marriage. The thing is that the state couldn't take care of these kids, so basically they kept the patriarchal part of the kids being your responsibility without without you having claim to them or 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 guardianship over them. You kept the financial guardianship without the physical guardianship. That's why it's falling apart. It just took a while because women didn't want to give that up. No, these are his kids, and we still need their money. That's where the child support comes in. The alimony came in. They didn't give that up. They were supposed to give that up. If the kids belong to you and you have rights to the kids, then basically they're your financial responsibility. He has no claim on the kids anymore. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because the woman didn't have any claim over the kids. If she left, she decided to bounce from the marriage. She left with nothing. But she wasn't responsible for anything. Left you with the responsibility. That's how come they don't go after women for child support or alimony. It's because you're still under some kind of loose quasi patriarchal laws, right? Okay, the patriarchy only exists in that little bitty sector. So basically, women pick from menu A and menu B. I'm gonna take my rights, my control, my kids, and still take your money and your resources, which is unfair. Which is why you have men's rights. Which is why you have a manosphere. Yeah, that is true. That's core MGTOW. It's a refusal. They don't want you to know. They basically pretend that your rights as guardians is your claim, and your claim is supposed to be superior when it's not. Hell, they can. You don't have to have DNA with that kid. The state will still assign you as guardian. In fact, they do this with immigrants, right? Under the UN Charter. If a immigrant crosses over with his kids into a Western country, the children belong to the state. They can actually separate the kids from the parents and put those kids in foster homes, which they do because the Western governments, you do not have claims to these children, right? The children belong to the state. And so you got to marry in a place where at the age of 7, you go to the father. Nigeria, Oman, and Saudi, anywhere else, you're asking for trouble. True. I think in Africa, I think they still go by that the kids belong to the father. In Ghana, I think that is the case. I think in Nigeria, that's the case. Uh, well, we'll see how long that lasts. Anyway, but that's really all I wanted to talk about. Because we had this big long discussion about being able to actually overcome your environment. I disagree. In fact, I asked people prove your claim. They can't because they didn't do the work. SBE. Uh, Bring your ass up here, SBE. Bring your ass up here before I boot you. Bring your ass up here. You get the dunce cap today. You don't even know what SB. You don't even know what society does not shame, blame, and explain to their children. What society? To the children, to the citizens, um, to all the population. What society does not do that? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for participating. You have a nice life. Nah, yeah, he not because he's an idiot. Okay, that's why I ain't coming up there. Yeah, because you're an idiot. Anyway, no, they're uneducated, man, because they follow uneducated people, and that's the problem. They follow the tangle of pathology, man. They follow idiots. That's ghetto behavior. Chemistry, what's going on? No, they do it, man. They want attention. That's all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zulu's in Uganda now. He's seen it. It hasn't got to the point where it is now, but thing is, he's seen it already because Uganda's actually going through development right now because the Chinese. The Chinese actually developing Uganda as we speak. So they're already going through that phase. So they're transitioning from agrarian to a modern industrial country. So naturally, the women are actually going to be on some other kind of time. It's going to take a minute because they're trying to actually clean up and cook and all that kind of stuff. It's going to take some time, but it's already changing. Kenya is the same way. Kenya's actually further along. Well, because we use chemicals in our meat, so what they get is doesn't have chemicals in it. I saw parts of the Tate interview. Oh yeah, do my victory lap. Uh, what he said the same thing I said about why they locked him up, right? Is because he's an influence. It's not that he's saying anything that's wrong or dangerous. He's an influence. They don't want him to actually influence these kids in a certain way. He actually said it. I might do a reaction to it later on about Tate. Again, you ain't shit. Forget about it. And hot sauce has been to Kenya. Okay. Thank you, Jeter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Economy goes down, heels get higher. Yeah, George Taylor. Yeah, correlation 1920. Um, basically, go back to the crack era. It was a small sample size with the black community, but thing is, that's where you headed. It's economic stress, especially in the urban environment. It's not agrarian anymore, so there's going to be a lot of chicks out there on the block. Tate is the anti-narrative that they actually want to preach. Okay, they want boys and men to get back in line under some kind of structure. Okay, Tate is giving them independence. They don't want that. That's why Andrew Tate had to be kind of taken, not taken out, but actually moved aside. What's the Patreon username? It's BGS Idmore. The link of my Patreon should be in the description, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Patreon's in the description of the video. The Patreon should be there. People that want to find my Patreon normally find it. Okay. Oh, they gonna mess with my internet today. Ah, you guys are terrible. Yeah, they're gonna mess with my internet, so I'm probably gonna cut this short because I got high speed internet, but I'm not getting bars. So I am gonna cut this short because they're probably gonna drop me in a bit anyway. So my internet slows down like this, that means I've talked too much. How long before we end up like Wally? I'd say about like Wally, probably about a century or so. Probably about a century. But if nobody's gonna come up, I'll take some last questions and I will bounce. Last questions. Uh, why do you think feminism in black women is so aggressive compared to other types of women? Because black women have always been a matriarch, and uh, and they've been taught aggression from a long time back. Okay, uh, that's where they learned to be aggressive on the slave plantation.
Hey BGS, I just wanted to catch you
Okay.
before you get off. I don't really have a disagreement, but yeah, I just because I noticed when we're looking at because even in Africa, I've been in Kenya most of my
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
It's becoming aggressive like
Yeah.
back home, but
Yeah.
here in Shanghai, it's not.
Yeah.
Like a Chinese woman will never say men ain't shit. She won't marry you. She just
Yeah.
won't do anything because,
Yeah.
but she ain't gonna say you ain't shit.
Yeah.
But Kenyan women are saying that now. So I'm
Because
just thinking,
there's
why is it so different compared to depending on where you're at?
because Africa actually looks to American black women as their model. That's number one.
Hmm.
Um, so, but the Chinese don't look to black women as their model.
No, no, no,
and,
they
and
don't.
and plus, Chinese women don't have the same kind of testosterone that black women do have.
Mm.
So they're actually going to be more aggressive because of their genetic makeup.
Yeah,
Because
I
black,
have heard that.
yeah, I mean, black women have always been that way, man. They might not say it as much, but thing is, they'll take a machete to their husband or throw hot water on their husband. That's where they learned it.
So let's take it back. Let's take it back a couple. Let's take it back like 2,000 years. Do
Hmm.
you think black men dealt with this, let's say, in 500 BC?
Black 500 BC. Ooh, that's kind of far back. I would say probably not, not to this level because
Because
the culture was actually in smaller groups. So I say probably not.
well, because my whole thing is this, right? According
Hmm.
to Daughters of the Slave Trade,
Hmm.
she thought we weren't shit back then. That's why she helped sell us off.
Hmm.
So how did this shit start?
Well, the sell us off is one group versus another. It wasn't your woman or your sister or your mother
Mhm.
selling you off.
It was a
Okay,
different tribe.
it was a different tribe. So we can sell them
Okay.
off because they're below us,
Okay.
or they lost the war, or that group ain't shit. They will sell the women off too.
Okay. Because like I hear about Jim Crow era and things like that, but once
Uh,
that ended, black women split with the quickness. So I'm finding it hard to believe the research that's saying that at some point we were very close and kumbaya. I find it very hard to believe
you would
because
never
when I see the
you
reaction.
if you read I think Diane Williams' book right about black
Mhm,
love black women black love right.
mhm,
She actually goes through the whole sequence of slavery, emancipation, Jim Crow into the modern era, right? Black women have never, ever, 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 ever thought you superior or an equal to them, right?
see, that's
The
my hypothesis.
Yeah, yeah, it never has because they've been raised, they've been cultured from that over 2 centuries. Okay, they
Yeah,
came
two
out of
centuries.
that,
Yeah.
and it never changed. Okay, so black ones still doing the same thing they were doing coming out of slavery, almost the exact
Right.
same thing. Yeah.
So and that's why I scratch my head because you got Kenyan women in Kenya like being like I mean like BGS, if you go to Nairobi especially, I've been
Mm,
there like I was there in 2 weeks ago, May holiday, right? So
uh-huh.
last month. I was there last month. And just the number of women walking around with babies with no fathers, it's
Yes.
just it's
Yeah.
insane.
The thing is that what happens when you, especially urbanism, okay, urban
Mm-hmm.
cities, and especially when women can make a living without their group, okay,
Mm-hmm.
just like they did in Northern Europe in 1804, okay, that
Mm-hmm.
splits up the family.
I'm
That
going to tell
actually,
you this.
hold on, Charles. It actually splits up the family. It actually gives the woman actually independence. Apart
So
from the
and
group.
this is my last question and
What?
I'll go. So if this is the case, then
Mm-hmm.
you can argue that in a woman's natural form,
Uh-huh.
she doesn't want to be married. It's just a survival technique at the baseline throughout
Marriage
infinity.
marriage is a way to organize people. If she doesn't need you and she can survive without you, she'll organize a different way.
And would you say that would be the same even before let's say like the Stone Age? Let's take it back there. Stone
Uh-huh.
Age. If she felt she didn't need a man to
Yeah,
survive, she would
yeah.
not.
She would not. Yeah, because go back. The Jarawa tribe is probably the best indicator
Hmm.
of what it was like 100,000 years ago, right?
Hmm.
Because for survival's sake, okay, for survival's sake, they organize for the first 7 or 8 years, right? They keep the parents
Hmm.
together, okay, keep the kids with the parents, okay.
Hmm.
After that, the boys and girls go into separate households, right? In other words, the
Right.
boys go with the men, and the girls go with the girls. They separate until they come back together. They actually get married. But the thing is, that's the way they organize their society. It's been that
Okay.
way for a very long time. If the women do not need to organize with you to actually raise kids for survival, they won't.
So pretty much fuck these hoes then. Pretty much.
Fuck these hoes. Yeah, basically. Okay.
Okay.
The
Got it.
thing is that the environment the environment probably will not last very long if you do that. So they have to make some kind of arrangement.
But I mean, but it's not sincere. So for a person like myself, I would just I would be like, fuck it. Let me just go get a surrogate and like they hoes.
Negro, you too black pill for that shit. You know how it works. Okay. You
Well,
too
no,
black pill
because
for
I
that.
mean, if you're
You,
if you're not
you,
sincere, I'd rather just get a surrogate, get my kids,
yeah.
and then just date a random woman.
Well, you can do that because you're a different class of person. You can do that. Most people can't do that.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you, BGS. I'm going to
No,
sign off.
no problem. But you actually confirming what I've been saying about this structure. Okay. You know.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I'd rather do what Hill Harper did, right?
Yeah.
Just go on and date, not get married, but have my children,
Yeah.
and that way I'm insulated, right? My
Yeah.
my 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 wealth comes from other countries anyway.
Yeah.
Just get some kids.
I don't know.
Leave them alone.
I mean, where you are, do they still believe in father's rights, the father's claim?
Well, I mean, in China, yes, yeah. Like if you divorce, if you divorce whoever brought the house. I mean, like what Chinese women don't get. Chinese women do not have the same divorce rights as back home in the U.S.
Okay.
So Chinese women just don't get married up front. They just
Okay.
say fuck it, right?
Okay.
Because they can make their money. They can make their money because Chinese women are the preference for Fortune 500 companies that come here. Like
Okay.
even my staff is 90% women,
Really?
right? Chinese,
Okay.
yeah, right. I mean, and if you go to most foreign companies, like the managers and stuff like that, they're 90% women. I mean,
Wow.
they're just preferred, right? A
Okay.
lot of that is because um, when you have the foreign senior director,
Hmm.
women just speak English better, right? They just do here, right? Chinese women just speak English better,
Okay.
so they're going to be the preferred hire because they do better in the
Ah.
interviews.
Hmm.
They're going to they'll listen to you and things like that, and they'll tell you to watch out for certain things.
Yeah. So
So if you go to any national company, you'll see like the overwhelming majority will be women. So
the
that
birth of
also gave them power
the birth
to
of
you
feminism.
know
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Just
So,
say no.
but it looks very different. It's not aggressive. It's very passive.
Yeah.
It's very like I just don't want to marry. That's
Okay.
and they'll just keep it like that. That's it,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they can't divorce you and take you half. In China, they can't do that.
Okay. So they don't. The best way is not to play, huh?
The best
What
way is not to play.
What do they do about children? They just don't have any, or what?
If you right now there's a saying like think right double income no kids. So there's a lot of people that cohabitate, live together, don't have
Uh-huh.
kids.
Okay.
If you get a divorce,
Uh-huh.
it's a toss up.
Oh, really?
But a lot of times, okay, it's like this. You're from Shanghai, right? You're Shanghainese male, and then the girl is from the countryside. You're
Yeah.
going in a divorce. You're going to clean up. The
Okay.
house is going to be yours because you're Shanghai local. The kids got local ID, so
Okay.
in that case, she's going to lose out. She's going to
Okay.
lose out. So a lot of it depends on a lot of things,
Oh,
right?
okay. It's more complex.
Right. So she's not so to get a divorce in China is
Uh-huh.
very, very complicated. If they do, they normally wait until the kids are like grown and in the US, like
Uh-huh.
studying college, or if they really don't want to get married, they just don't. Like that's what you're seeing now. People just not getting married.
That's
Okay.
odd, bro. It's different from in Uganda, though, bro.
Yeah. Well, a different culture. Yeah.
Yeah, because like in Uganda, basically, like this, like if you quote unquote get married, like the women has got necessarily more tactical with they shit necessarily, right? So let's say you quote unquote when it's time to go get a house and get married, right? They'd be like, okay, we want to get this land. What the women started basically doing was quote unquote, right? They'll go get have you go build a house on their tribal land necessarily, or on their
Okay.
father's land or some shit.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
basically, when it's time to quote unquote divorce, they'd be like, oh no, this is my father's land, right?
Yeah. In other words, the family supersedes, the individuals.
So that's how they've been running it. And one dude was like, "Hey, bro, watch out for that." He just told me that like a couple
Yeah.
like was it
Yeah.
2 days ago.
The family actually supersedes any claim on the children. The children belong to the family.
right?
in
But
China.
in China, it's more like who is in the best financial standing. Like, because
Okay.
here it's all about money. So if the man is in a better financial standing, more times out of 10, as long as she's not nursing, it's going to go to him. But also, you also have the cultural shame. Like, if you're like 8, 9 years old and you're not with your father and mother, that's shameful,
Okay.
right? Like, there is face here. So pretty much what Chinese women do, either A, they just don't get married, or B, they just wait till kids are adults and then they'll
Okay.
divorce, because
Okay.
the cultural shaming is insane, right? Because we don't have like, there's no woke culture where you can get in trouble for saying this and that. I mean, right now, our secretary is overweight, and literally everybody in the office call her little fatty.
Okay.
Shapanza, right? They don't even
bro,
call
I
her
saw a
name. They'll be
video,
like,
bro.
there's
I
like,
saw a
can
video.
you copy? They'll come in like, hey, can you get us some coffee, little fatty, go make a copy of this.
Yeah.
Bro,
Like,
they
just
so mean over there with this
yeah.
shit, bro. Bro, I
That's
saw a chick. She was
that,
32.
that's typical. Yeah, that's very typical of this
To
society.
me or you, she's not fat. By the way, to me and you, she is not fat.
Yeah.
But to Chinese girls, she is fat. Like, what is that? Shapanza. Chunar, like, go over there, get this, get that, and they treat her like shit.
Yeah.
Other girls treat her like shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very,
So,
very strong cultural shaming. Shame, blame, and explain is a norm in Asia. Okay.
oh,
It is too in Uganda, bro, too. Because like I saw one girl that said, I think she made a cheat on her husband. Like, what they got now necessarily think what this thing is, right? If you cheat on your husband in Uganda, right? They
Mhm.
basically whatever position they found you in, they was
Mhm.
you that's how you going back to your parents, bro. So you was butt naked when your husband found you, bro. They sending you butt naked on that scooter back to your village, bro. And that's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, bro.
Yeah, that's shaming. Shaming is in all cultures. It's more intense. In traditional cultures. But Asians don't get in that position because they don't. The shame is really very bad in
yeah,
Asia.
like, yeah. I mean, like, they'll still self delete if it's too much.
It's too much. Yeah,
They'll wrap it up. They'll wrap it up.
that's how strong it is. Anybody else want to jump in? Thanks. I know you got to go. So
Yeah. All right, take care.
no. If you want to stay, you can stay. But I know
Okay,
you're
yeah,
busy.
I'll hang out for. I mean, I can't sleep. I have insomnia. It's like 3 in the morning, so and I'm
Oh
off tomorrow.
shit.
So
Oh
God
shit.
yeah,
damn, boy.
so I'm good. Yeah, I'll stay on.
Okay. No, it's up to you. Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, what's up, BGS? How you doing?
What's up?
Hey, man, I'm 25, man. Out like the
Mm.
Dallas area. I've been
Oh shit.
listening
Yeah,
to a
my
lot of
yeah,
your content.
yeah. That's where I was born. Yeah. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, so you already know where I'm going because it's pretty much like 92 octane zone. That's really what it is. I'm
Not. I
trying to
mean,
get you.
not. I mean,
Oh,
you
go
can.
ahead.
You know where to go, man, to get the homegirls if you want them.
Oh yeah. Nah, no problem with that. But now I was gonna ask you actually though,
Hmm.
like what's your opinion going forward? What's the Gen Z playbook? Because the way I'm looking at it, just the people around my age,
Uh
I'm
huh.
looking at them like, y'all done for, man. Especially in
Passport,
Dallas,
bro.
man. I
Uh,
got one.
the thing is with Gen Z, the playbook is choice. Okay. Okay. You got an infinite amount of choices. You you have to know who you are first, right? And that's the problem with Gen Z. They had too much choice.
So I'm gonna tell you, boy, passport, bro. Like if you come to like what is place, right? I'm not gonna say you like Uganda right now, but if you go someplace like South Sudan, what's the notes? I think it's Mozambique or whatever, bro, and you can speak a little bit of Spanish, bro. Bro, yeah, bro. You come
What
over
what
there with your stuff together, man. You can
what?
learn some things and get some things done over
Well,
there, bro.
you got to find out what he wants. That might not
Yeah,
be
that's
what
what
you
you know.
want.
Depends on what you want. Yeah, what
Yeah,
you want.
you got to
Cause
find out what he wants. Okay. Which
Yeah.
problems are you having?
I'm not really necessarily having no problems with ladies or nothing like that. It's just I'm
Okay.
just looking at it from a broader scope. Like, okay, like going forward,
Uh
because
huh.
I'm looking at the women around my age. Okay, let's fast forward 20, 30 years. I'm like,
Mm,
I can't really see y'all in a viable situation that's good. Just
mm.
based on the behavior socially and
Okay.
based on
Okay.
the
What what
environment.
what
we
what
look
what
for
behavior?
marriage, man.
What yeah? What behavior are you seeing that's negative to you?
You know, like an extreme passive aggressiveness in regards to having a sense of entitlement amongst the
Oh yeah,
women
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
DFW.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be all the women in the West. Okay.
It's like a false projection of perception based on
Yeah.
what they think they are when they really don't amount to it.
It,
You got
that,
women that are
that's
single moms with kids. It's
mm-hmm.
pretty much played out.
Yeah, that's social media. That's schooling. You know, because that's the way they teach them, and then all that other kind of stuff wrapped up into it. You know, so what he's saying is
Okay.
probably right. If you want something different, that's going to be a wife traditional. Got to go someplace else.
I'm gonna tell
Where
you.
yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna tell you, bro. If you're looking for a wife necessarily, right? I'm gonna tell you the best place to go to is Zimbabwe, Mozambique, bro. If you're talking about um vastly different necessarily culture and where it's something when you can get a wife, but not I mean, because first off, they have the language barrier because they speak was it Spanish necessarily. I think Zimbabwe speak a little bit of English, right? But
Mm-hmm.
between was it like Zimbabwe because they have that Spanish quote unquote colonizer whatever thing going on, they don't really speak to English. So basically the American thing is ain't really seeping in there necessarily, or it's very, very hard because that language barrier is strong over there, bro. And necessarily and the coach over there is hella strong, bro. So when you come over there, they treat you like they know what the deal is, bro. So
And
when you talking about
Mozambique is highly Islamic too, so that's another.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I say
Oh,
strong
okay.
culture, bro. So if you come over there, but long as you quote unquote, got your money together, or you got like a plan that you go talk to their father type of shit. Like, I mean, I went over there in the 1 week, talked to one of the dudes, and she was like, "Oh, pretty nice." She literally brought me to her father, and I went out to what is it to the bar one time to talk to some dudes, and it was like, "Oh, come talk to my daughter." Like it was like that kind of
Yeah, yeah.
legit.
Because you're American, you got a blue passport. But the thing is, you can't leave. Do you date out? Or is it only black women?
I tell you, go in the
No, no,
culture
no,
of
no,
dating.
no, no, no.
My bad,
What I'm
sorry.
saying, yeah. In other words, uh, if you're in Texas, right? That's it. Basically it's Hispanic state. So, um, if you can't, if you
Right.
want to date out, go get you a Latino from across the border. Go down to El Paso, get you.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because most of the Latinos, like the Latinos, they pretty much Americanized. They're actually going with the black woman's playbook, just from my observation, based on what I'm looking at, and the ones that I kind of get around a little bit.
That's where they've been trained, but you have to get one that hasn't been trained in the West. Okay, trained in the
Okay,
North. Okay, that's why go
word,
down to the border. Okay, go down to El Paso, go down to Houston, go down there where they were actually coming across. Okay,
word.
and
Okay,
then find you one
Yeah, God
that's
forbid you
still
go to like
traditional.
Guatemala or something, bro. Like, boy,
Guatemala's fine.
that's what I'm saying, boy. Like you will see the difference, bro.
There is a
what
big
about like
difference.
Honduras or something like that?
Same thing.
It is anything that hasn't been raised in the United States because the Latinos don't play down there as far as that stuff is concerned. They have to be traditional. Okay,
But they'll get smacked up
Okay,
real quick, bro.
they
Like
will.
like for real, for real. I'm gonna tell you this much, bro. Like one of the women I had a small conversation with, right? And she was like, "Okay, cool. If you live over here, I can live. I can buy what's it? This lot over here. The lot was like $2,000, right?" And she was like, "You can buy this lot over here." And I was, my family lives over here, so if you get mad at me and beat me, I can go over to my sister's house. And I'm looking at her like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But in her mind, she was just like, she already calculated this to the
Oh yeah,
program, bro.
because you don't know what her program is. The families are more important when you go to the continent. You
So
have to learn the culture.
I mean that's what I'm saying, bro. Like she was like, man, you just I was like, beat you. I ain't gonna beat you. I ain't got that
What
kind of person. But like in her mind, she already know, hey, buddy, you can turn left on me. And I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna do that.
because that's what happens with her men if she decides to spark up. Okay, so that means she's probably not
okay.
she's she's probably more westernized than you think. So get another woman.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of girls, matter of fact, every girl I've dated that was like, well, Asian, not American, they'll always ask, "Do you hit women?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I don't." I know that's okay. You're a good guy. I'll date you, and that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah. Black Americans don't really do that. So.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And our women have found out that Black American men are different, okay? Because those African men will pop you upside the head, okay?
Oh,
Get
what a
out
quickness,
of line.
boy!
Yeah,
Like,
out of
boy,
line.
what chin check a motherfucker? Like, what? Mike Tyson out there, boy. Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Some
That's what.
girl in Tanzania got her African wake up call.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that was
yeah.
Mark Weeks Africa. He actually said that with
Yeah.
Hassan Holloman. Yeah, 7
Same
of them.
chick. I got same chick went to I think it's went to was it South Africa. She was like, man, these men are ugly. One of these motherfuckers came and got down, smacked her ass, crossed her lips. Boy, I was like, yeah, bitch, you in the wrong place trying that
Yeah, run
bullshit,
spot.
bro.
Yeah, run that kind of stuff. Yeah, run that kind of time. Anybody else want to get in? Yes, no. Charles,
I don't
jump
want
in.
to take. I don't want to keep up the conversation. You know, I can talk all
No,
day now.
I'm not. Yeah, I know you will, but we're not gonna be here that long. But Charles, you want to jump in?
I just wanted to say, like, hey, if you want to play the game of marriage out here today, good luck. I hope you got money to spend.
Yeah. You have to get in right if you're gonna. If you got to be sure if you're gonna get actually come in and play.
Money to blow. Let's say
Uh,
like that. I ain't gonna say money to spend.
Forget
Money
that.
to blow.
You got well. Make sure she's got money. You know.
Hey, forget that. Hey, BGS, in Dallas, there was a stat that came out. I believe there's like a 94% divorce rate if filed by women
Yeah.
out here in Dallas County. I said, oh,
Yeah.
I'm done, man.
Yeah.
I'm done, man.
Oh, Black
That's
Americans.
it.
A black woman actually filed 80%. But Dallas is just now catching up to everybody else, right? Especially black people in Dallas.
Bro, let me tell you this much,
Just
man.
now starting to catch up. Go ahead.
Bro, when I did necessarily a little research, I went out and said, okay, where's the most pornographic material coming from this in the world, right, bro? America does 60% of the world's pornography, bro. So when you understand 60% that the pornography that the world absorbs is coming from America, bro, it's a whole country, bro. So if you trying to be up here trying to marry something, bro, you foolish.
Yeah, you got a point.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
60% of the world's pornography comes from out of here, bro. Like Africa got like 2, 5 or something. Europe got like another 2 or 3 or got like 10 or some shit. Saudi Arabia got like what 1.
Well, if they catch you doing pornography in Africa, they'll beat you. So
they will beat your ass, bro. Yeah, exactly.
They don't play.
Like same here, you'll get deported. You'll get deported with any type of adult content.
Yeah.
You'll get deported here.
Yeah, so they haven't caught up yet as far as that is concerned.
So, where's that? China? You'll get deported in China for that?
Yeah,
man,
Africa too, bro.
Yeah. Well, you'll get deported, and then if you show a Chinese local, you're going to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, they really tight range. China's not a liberal country, right? It's an authoritarian country.
No, it's not. I mean,
they don't play.
They play like because they're trying their best to fight it, right? So right now they're trying to what they're trying to do is because their population is so low, they're trying to fight it. So now they're coming up with a scheme to like pay women to be wives, right? Like the government is going to give women a salary to just be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
like that. I'm like that's where they're at right now, and they got any type of effeminate man TV media, whatever, has been taken off TV.
Yeah.
The children now have less homework, right? They mandated to schools that schools can no longer give homework. They made majority of all the extra test prep stuff after school programs. They destroyed that, and that was $1 billion industry, and they destroyed it. They was like, nope, we're out of here because parents were complaining it's too expensive to have children, right?
Yeah.
Because here education it matters, right? I got to do this.
It's paramount, bro.
Yeah.
Right. So they're dumbing down their children to increase it, and then another thing they're doing is that they're actually, in certain ways, some things are kind of adversely affecting the girls when it comes to education, right? So they're trying to do everything they can to kind of push back against this feminist wave. Now, will they be successful? I don't know. Will they say they're successful? Yeah, they'll say it, right? But actually, I don't know.
Bro, they're trying to hold back the dam. I think Korea's going through the same thing.
Now Korea's on the death nose. What do you call it? Death spiral, bro.
Yeah, South Korea is doing the same. But I mean, they have the tools, right? I mean, China does have the tools. The government says do it, you do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, right? Because everything here is like surveillance, right? When I walk down the street, You have facial recognition. Everything is paid with your phone. It's a cashless society. Like
Hmm.
the government knows everything about you every single second of your life.
Yeah,
So
God damn, dude.
yeah,
that's
no,
not
but
that's not
it's safe
uncommon.
here though.
The same.
It's safe.
The UK is the same. We go to London, it's the same thing. Yeah.
I don't know, I think I prefer Africa, bro. Like I think I get a little bit of room to breathe though, man. But like I
Right,
don't know.
because
They haven't caught up yet. They'll catch up.
yeah, they'll catch up. Like, I mean, but it's for them. Well, for them. Well, I can say this: in a homogenous society, it's better because I do believe that Chinese government do have the best interests of the people in mind. I
Hmm.
would not feel comfortable in America like this because America never had the
That's
best
true.
interests of black people in mind. So, but here, like you can, like, matter of fact, there's some stores that you can walk in and you can just take stuff and walk out because it's so monitored here. Everything is facial recognition that they can charge your account. You
Yeah.
don't even need to take out your phone.
That's the future. You go to what is it? Amazon been trying that for the last what 3 4
The
years.
Amazon, yeah, stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of that here. We have facial recognition convenience stores,
Yeah.
and we have robotic restaurants. It's everywhere.
It's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere here.
That's what China is going to leaps and bounds ahead of us because they can actually implement this stuff a lot faster than we can.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
Oh
we,
yeah.
yeah.
we don't have a high speed train yet. China has what 20?
Oh yeah. That's one thing I wanted to
I
tell
mean,
you. If you
I don't know
necessarily
how many they have, but they go everywhere, right? If any
Yeah.
like any city, and the thing about it is with the high speed train is really good, is because it's faster than the airport actually, right?
Yeah.
Like so, like when I go to Beijing, it's better just to take a train for 6 hours from Shanghai to Beijing than a 3 hour flight because with the flight you still gotta wait, you gotta do check in and stuff like that. It's a pain in the ass, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's late, right? But
Hmm.
that fast speed train,
Yeah.
you just sit in your chair, have your meal, whatever, you sleep,
Hmm.
you wake up, you're there.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and there's a high speed train going to every city from one city to another city in every major city in China.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know how many they have, but there's a high speed train going everywhere. I can say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And they did this over the last, I would say, 20 years. It
oh yeah,
hasn't been
Uh,
BGS.
it hasn't been 50. Go ahead.
yeah,
Um
like 2015, I think. Yeah, because I've been here 19 years. In the beginning,
Okay.
they didn't have it. Like in
Oh,
'08, they
really?
didn't have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Okay.
yeah, I've
Okay.
oh
been here
yeah, I
like
wanted
19.
to say necessarily right. I think Uganda and Tanzania they were going nuclear. I think when I came back right, I saw
Uh,
they was just beginning like their bare minimum of like trying to build a nuclear facility. So if you got
yeah.
any nuclear capabilities, you want to be like that's something that you want to get into necessarily. You want to go ahead and take them skills and come to Africa and go because they paying top dollar out here necessarily. So you know.
Hey, I do have this one question, not to cut you off, but
Mm.
I want to know what BGS thinks is when we're talking about like the power shifting, right? Because we're seeing the de-dollarization, we're
Mhm.
seeing that the UN is the most traded currency right now. We're seeing other countries, like Tanzania, India, trading and buying in their own local country currency. But I just read something very interesting.
Uh-huh.
Russia is now going to start teaching Swahili and Amharic. I believe that's what Ethiopians speak in
Okay.
school.
Okay.
That makes
Yeah,
sense because
in Russia, yeah, they're gonna have to do business there. Yeah, so it makes sense.
and because necessarily right, like all the East African Federation, they basically they teach everybody Swahili so they can have their own group conversation basically,
Yeah.
and then
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
certain people like they speak English in like certain groups, right? So certain areas. So basically, so that's what they trying to do. So they trying to make that whole East African Federation align with the
No, I get that part, but I just find it interesting that they're moving to that because Russia was more like, okay, we speak Russian, we speak English, and we speak Chinese. That's
Mhm.
more or less enough. Because right now I think the problems I see with Africa is two. Number one, they have a electricity deficiency, right?
Yeah.
One of
oh
the biggest
for
problems
real.
Yeah.
is not enough power. And
Yeah.
then number two, it's not being built in what I would say the proper way, right?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
one of the reasons why
Why do
black
you
Americans.
why you say that the
Have you
proper way?
seen the
Well,
polls out
Oh,
there?
hold on,
The
hold on, hold on,
polls out
hold
there,
on, hold
BGS,
on.
are horrible,
Yeah.
bro.
well,
Yeah.
okay, so I've been
It's called termites. But go ahead.
right. So, and I'll say it this way because I'm not
Mhm.
saying this is the only way, but so I've been in China for 19 years. So I've been here when China was still like nowhere near the second largest economy. And
Okay.
what I understood with China, what they did, two things right. Number one, they opened their economy and they
Mm-hmm.
got manufacturing it and they start selling to the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And once they got enough foreign currency coming in,
Mm-hmm.
then they start kicking foreigners out once they learn how to do it and start
Mm-hmm.
building
Yeah,
like
yeah.
factories
Yeah,
for themselves.
I've been following them for like since '94, so I saw it from
Right.
the ground up. Yeah.
So, but when we go to Africa, we
Mm-hmm.
go with our skill sets, which is like retail, consulting, and soft services.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in its development stage. So the development stage is you leverage your cheap ass labor
Mm-hmm.
to sell shit to a more developed country.
Mm-hmm.
And I
But
just don't.
but the
And
Chinese had to be bootstrapped by America
right,
because
right,
America technology couldn't be made in America because it's actually poisonous. So they actually
right,
shipped it to
Ooh, it's
Taiwan
poisonous.
first.
right.
Those chips are poisonous. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
And even plastic bottles, the chemicals that you use to make plastic bottles
yeah,
and single use plastics, right?
yeah,
All
yeah.
that was all that shit is shipped over. All of that shit is shipped overseas, and they bring the bottles back. And even with the plastic waste, they'll ship it back to those
Yeah,
third world
yeah,
countries
yeah. So they're what kind. But the thing is that
to
uh,
recycle and burn.
got to remember your IBM chips for computers have been made in Taiwan since 1972, because
Yeah, 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 yeah. But
because
yeah,
the process is poisonous to the environment. So they ship this stuff
yeah,
out, and that's what they bootstrapped on. So started in Taiwan, went to Korea,
hmm,
and then when they opened up China for this kind of technology, China embraced it. So they said, "We'll take all you
yeah.
can get." That was
Right,
that was in the 80s.
right. So that's why. Well, I'm not allowed to talk about the environmental
Yeah, yeah, I know.
problems.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah, I know.
yeah, yeah.
I know. But
But
what I'm
but
saying,
what I'm saying is
yeah.
what I'm
So,
saying is that
but Africa just started in like
mhm,
2008, really
right,
2010 in this process. So they're
right.
in the
They're
basic
in the infancy.
development. Yeah,
How I look
very
at it.
much so, very much so.
Right, and I get that, and I don't have a problem with that because right
Mm,
now is the opportunities to make a lot of money
yeah,
in Africa. Like I'm
yeah.
over there, but I'm just wondering why we're not doing what works in the past, right? Because people coming over there opening restaurants, people are coming over there opening up clothing stores and stuff like that.
Because
It's
What?
not that's not the right recipe. The
what
recipe
what
right
what what
now
what I'm saying is, okay, if
is
it takes a large scale investment to make infrastructure. Okay, that's what
yeah,
China's
yeah,
doing,
yeah,
right?
true,
That has
true,
to come
true.
first. Okay, the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, America won't allow us to actually go over and actually do that kind of work. Okay,
You think so?
I know so.
Oh yeah, boy. I play this. If
I know
you
so.
get enough money, you try to kind of just
We have to talk on on the next Patreon hot
And
sauce
trust
about
me,
that.
Okay,
trust me,
because
trust
I'm
me.
actually thinking about bringing over a large investment to build up something. And my idea is because since China is there, I
Hmm.
can,
depend
my
on your
analogy is like
definition of
this.
large, man.
Okay,
You see the little fish swimming next against the great white, right?
right. Yeah,
Nobody fucks with the little fish because it's right under the
yeah.
great white's belly. So,
It's,
because there's a couple things I want to
you
do there, bringing like a couple
you,
$1 million.
you can bring in skills with people that have skills, but thing is, as far as large investment, infrastructure investment, America is not going to allow black people to actually
Nope.
do that on the continent.
You know,
So you're telling me like if I come
One
well,
time.
one second. So you're telling me, let's say let's say I want to do like a $5 million deal. You're telling me
You can, but thing is, your $5 million deals are dependent on on the big infrastructure uh, concerns that cost
well
like $1 billion.
I'm gonna be following China, right? I mean
Yeah.
I'm not like
Oh,
because I'm not talking
yeah,
about $1 billion because I don't have $1 billion, but I'm
yeah,
talking about like like little money,
yeah.
like 1 or 2 mil, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe one
okay.
to 2 mil,
And
bro.
I said this. I said this maybe 10 years ago. Okay,
Mhm.
there's going to be gaps, right?
Right,
China's doing this as far as basic infrastructure. Okay, but there's going to be
right,
all these gaps in between, right? Fill those
right,
gaps. So you find a
Yep.
gap.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
There's going to be
because
gaps.
one last thing, and I'll pass the mic. Like, because right now, right, with the Russia and Ukraine war, right,
Right.
right now there's a huge gap in grains and there's a huge gap in cooking oil,
Yeah.
right. So you bring over 2-3 million, right?
Yeah.
Go to a certain place. I'm not gonna mention, right,
Yeah.
and you build up that and you just start
Yeah.
exporting, right.
Yeah. You
I
can.
don't think America's gonna trip over that.
No, they won't. They won't trip over. The thing is, as far as black people, coming over there and actually doing big scale stuff like that, it's going to be harder for Black
Yeah.
Americans to actually do that.
Well,
I
that's what
just
I'm planning to do, actually.
Where you,
But you
where,
in China, bro. You gotta remember that.
where your money's coming from, who's behind you, is not from
Oh,
over
okay,
here.
my money's coming from a non-American
Yes,
spot.
yeah,
Yeah,
not
bro. You
American
gotta.
source.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
yeah.
All right, yeah, okay,
So
okay. I see it.
essentially,
Okay.
You're a Chinese person and not
Yeah,
a
because
Black American.
like for the last 19 years, I've been making money
Yeah, yeah.
outside. Yeah,
So
okay.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
that's gonna be different if you
Okay.
get
Yeah,
my
yeah,
drift.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay. All right. I see what you're talking about.
See
Okay,
what
I
I'm talking
got you.
about? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention
Hmm.
that I grew up in Germany, and in Germany, America built up the country, and I'm from Nigeria, and the
Yeah,
Q100, the thing what they did in Germany would be a drop of would be a huge drop, but it still would be a drop in the bucket.
yeah,
Like you guys don't understand how much attention, money, and time you need to build up an alone the infrastructure of the
yeah.
economy, not even as the economy. Like that's why I say America. What they did is basically nothing, like dust between the fingernails.
Yeah.
Say it again.
I mean, essentially they did nothing in Nigeria.
Oh yeah,
It's just,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so minute, it's nothing. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I don't think Africa, until you start seeing manufacturing, I don't think in large part, like Ethiopia is different, right? Because China has brought a lot of their manufacturing over, textile manufacturing
Right.
over to Ethiopia. But
Yeah.
it's still you start seeing like electronics and processed goods in Africa. Africa hasn't, in my humble opinion, Africa hasn't really started yet.
No.
Like
Yeah.
the
No, it's
infrastructure
in
is
its infancy,
really
bro.
right. The infrastructure is really about the One Belt Road, right, going
Yeah.
through Africa to
Yeah.
Europe and back and forth, right.
Yep.
But Africa really hasn't started yet,
Nope.
which is a
It-
great opportunity, I think.
they're not even
Mhm.
on the freeway yet. They're on the on ramp.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where they
I'm
are right now.
I'm gonna tell you this much, bro. Like I came up here, I thought about making. I looked at drones, man, because that was my thing. I was looking at drones, bullets, and some guns and a couple other things. Farming, right? That's why I kind of looked at right for Uganda, right? I started looking at how much it was gonna cost to quote unquote get some what is it chips? Not chips. Myself say moved over from Taiwan to here. Boy, it's almost double the price of getting it shipped over there as the item itself, man. So unless you necessarily can manufacture them there on the ground, bro, yes.
Go
No, but
talk to the business people there, talk to your government people there, and talk to somebody like Hot Sauce, okay? And
yeah,
get a deal
see,
going.
Yeah, we
yeah,
gotta talk
because
about that fight, about that farming stuff.
like one thing you got to understand, like right now, doing business in Africa is doing business with the government, right?
Yes.
Private public projects,
Partnership.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything other than that, you're gonna get scammed.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get scammed, right?
Oh, I
Even
know
when you're
this.
doing real estate, you got to go to the government saying, "Hey, here's our group of people. We're gonna sign contracts, and we're gonna give us this
Yeah.
piece of land. We're gonna do
And,
this."
I bought all my
and
land
do
through
this,
the
and
auction, bro.
I want my tariffs lowered to the point where
Right,
I
right,
can make
right.
money. We have
Well,
to do
it's
that.
gonna be zero because look, I'm gonna hire some people, your people. You're
Yeah.
gonna tax your people, but I'm not getting taxed, and we're gonna lease the land at this and that. Like I just read somewhere that South Korea
Mhm.
just leased for 50 years 100,000 acres
Mhm.
to reassure their food supply,
Yeah.
and they paid $40 per acre.
Yeah.
40 fucking ultimately the deal was like $5 million, so, which is nothing for a country, right?
Yeah.
They're paying $5 million and
I'm,
no
su- I'm,
tax.
su-
Nothing, bro.
I'm sure there's some other things that are attached to that deal that we're not hearing, but yeah.
Right. But no, like it's what they say it's going to be tax friendly, $40 per
Yeah.
acre. And I believe it's in Tunisia, but I could be wrong about that. And pretty much,
got to bring in machinery and infrastructure.
yeah. Well, they're gonna do
Yeah.
all that, right? They're gonna do all that.
Which helps the country. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna, but also it's gonna also they what is it? They agreed to sell 70% abroad and 30% will be like in
Local.
the country,
Yeah.
right? So so the country will get they'll get tax they'll be able to tax their local employers, people get jobs, and
Yeah.
also they get FD the foreign currency coming into their country,
Yeah.
and they what is it? They they're no longer reliant on wheat and soybeans from abroad now,
Yeah, they
right?
grow it,
Because they're manufacturing in house, right? So
in
it's a
house. Yeah,
win-win,
it's a
right?
win-win. Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah,
That's how deals are done.
yeah. So
That's how
that's
you
what I'm
package
planning
deals.
to do. Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. Just go
Yeah,
up to the like, well, get my people together, and I'm gonna try to get like Chinese people together
yeah,
and be like, look, y'all talk. I'm just gonna sit in the back. I ain't gonna say shit. It's y'all company, and just say, hey, we want to do this deal because Chinese people are very respected in Africa now. They
yeah.
got that white boy status.
Oh yeah, they well better than white boy status right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
better
see,
than white
that's
boy
the thing.
status.
Like when I went to Kenya,
Mm,
we get privilege because we're American,
mm,
but let a Chinese person come in or a
yeah,
white person come in,
yeah,
fuck you. Like they're going over there. You'll get
yeah,
served last. Sitting at the restaurant.
yeah,
If they hear you're talking, okay, they'll serve you before a local. But let
mm,
a white person come in or an Asian person come in. At
yeah.
least in Kenya, Nairobi, I
Oh
can say.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
I've heard
Kenya, them
about it.
motherfuckers,
I've heard about that in Kenya, them doing that kind of stuff. In fact, they burned down a Chinese restaurant because of that
yeah, they
shit.
showed
Yeah,
the fuck did, bro. I heard
yeah,
about that shit. That's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyway,
boy.
closing thoughts, folks. I'm getting ready to
No,
bounce.
that's it. That's it. You
Oh
guys
yeah.
take care.
I'm gonna tell you, if you buy any land in Uganda, Tanzania, do not buy that land from a local necessarily, because they will cheat your ass. Buy all your land from auctions, bro.
Yeah,
Necessarily, so keep your money ready. Necessarily, keep you a couple of $1,000, in your hand. Necessarily, if you really want to do some real
eh,
big
eh,
things. Keep
stop trying to be cheap and pay. Okay,
exactly, bro.
over
Like,
there.
I want to go
Stop
ahead and pay
trying to.
like I say, pay $15,000 $20,000 for some decent land,
And
bro.
if you have to pay a little bit more over the local price, pay it and
Oh
get
yeah.
what you need. Yeah,
Oh yeah, because like I'm gonna tell you necessarily, because the game out here is they'll sell you that land, boy, and you get that land all of a sudden. That's my cousin land. He ain't necessarily lease it to you, and then all of a sudden that's a whole fight, and you lost your
you,
money, and
go,
Lord knows
no,
then you
no,
got
no,
to
no,
shoot.
no, go to either if it's local chief, go to the chief first, and if not, go to the government
Hey,
and
bro,
don't deal with
I
the
say go
local.
to that auction, bro. That
What
auction out there,
what
that auction work good out there for me.
what the auction is run by the government, so it's
Exactly. So
secured. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
But
government.
you
Yeah.
pay more, but things you don't have to worry about the headaches.
yeah.
Go ahead,
Well,
Steak Man.
one thing I just wanted to say is for all the guys who go into Africa who actually wants to some kind make roots in Africa.
Yes.
There is no way around it. You must speak with the locals. There is no such thing as you can isolate yourself
Yeah, only can.
in your little groups, and then you can. This is that only can happen when you're already part of a tribe.
The thing is, why do you go over there to actually be American? I don't get that.
Because it's hard, BGS. I'm guilty of that.
Okay.
It's hard. It's
Okay.
hard. I mean, like right now, I'll be honest with you.
Hmm.
Like so far, like I've been working something out, and I'm chilling with Asian. I'm chilling with the Chinese,
Hmm.
and it's been great so far.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like, fuck it, right? Because the thing about it is, the locals treat me. They call me Mzungu.
Yeah.
that
They
is
still
so
treat
true,
the
bro.
Chinese. They treat the Chinese and the whites better than me.
Okay.
So I'd rather just sit in Chinatown in Nairobi, speak Chinese, and chill with them.
Yeah.
Shit, because they gonna treat me. Chinese people gonna treat me better than the Kenyans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this much, bro, because I come to Uganda, bro, and I go to Tanzania a lot, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this much, bro. When it comes to doing business, man, or someone be like, okay, I talk to someone, I'll be like, I need a money loan. I'll be like, okay, cool, I loan you this money for that, bro. In Africa, bro, that money loan and shit, they look at you like, oh, you ain't getting that back for nothing. So it's a whole different mentality when
Yeah,
it comes to necessarily stuff like that. So. Well, at least when it comes to business, that's when me and Hot Sauce we see eye to eye on that part. When I come there, I be like, hey, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, and they'll be like, okay, I can do that. And then when it's
Yeah.
time to
and
necessarily
You,
put that
you,
money up, or it's time to do something, it's
you,
like, well,
you're not you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Okay.
well, I'm
yeah,
just gonna say this. I'm still relatively new. I've only been doing business in Kenya, I would say since like 2017. I'm
I've been
still
there
new
6
to it.
months. So
I've been doing business in China for 19 years. I know when a Chinese person is gonna try to fuck me over. I
Yeah.
can see it. I can see it coming a mile away because I've been around. I've been living with them for 19 years.
Yeah.
I understand the subtle. I don't know when a king's gonna fuck me over because I go like maybe a month per year,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know that shit. So, but what I do know is that they respect Chinese, and what I
Yeah.
do know is that when I'm sitting there, even though it's my company, when I'm around 5 Chinese people and
Yeah.
we're all speaking Chinese, and then and then we'll say we want this, this, and that. It gets done,
Yeah.
right? And I also know when Black Americans go over there, a lot of times they have horror stories. So I'm kind of like use my advantages. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
I
But
can
Well,
explain that. I can
go, go,
explain that very easily.
go ahead, Snake Man, and then I'll
Okay,
chime in after
there's
you.
a China part is because the government did business, and most of the time when we talk to Chinese people, in some way form we are connected back to the government.
Hmm.
That is the reason. Because it's a local, isolated Chinese without any kind of government backing will be fucked over, stamped on, spit on, beaten. I can tell you there are a lot of imprisoned, there's a lot of stories of, let us say, individual Chinamen trying to do business and they basically got cucked. A lot. I can tell you a lot of stories. It's the most respect of the government. It's not the people itself. Problem is, black people in America don't have an independent government from the American
right,
government.
right. I
Yeah,
don't have the muscle, so I
yeah,
have
yeah,
to come with the fake muscle,
yeah.
right? So if I say Chinese people, okay, we're all with the government, and I'm just kind of like the black face to make everybody feel comfortable, even though it's really my company.
Yeah,
Just tell these motherfuckers it's they own,
yeah,
and then I'm good.
yeah. Well, the thing is, what Africans want you to do when you come there as a Black American is you become one of them. Okay,
I ain't got no
that's what
problem
they
with that
see.
though, bro. Like, hey,
Well,
bro.
it's a process. Okay, Americans don't come in with that kind of mentality.
Yeah, because I can tell you, me even have a lot of Nigerian influences. I had to go. I call it the stupid dance. It's
Mm.
basically tribal initiation.
Yeah,
It's a lot of,
Yeah, he's
it's
right
a
about
lot of annoying. It's a lot of annoying ass kissing, making three
yep,
backflips through
yep,
a hula
yep,
hoop kind of
yep, yep,
bullshit. And
yep.
I am tribal affiliated. I'm part of the tribe, but I still had to do it because I grew up in from the outside. I grew up in Germany, but for me it was never a problem because my father raised me that way. Like I never expected when I came to Nigeria the first time, as 13 years old, that now everyone will act like we are in Germany. I never expected that. I expected the
Yeah,
treachery, the backstabbing,
yeah,
the tribal politics. I expect, but this is a mentality you must be
yeah,
accustomed to.
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
backstabbing is serious out there,
But
bro.
you have to become one of them. They look at you as one of them when you go over there. You're American. You speak English. They're fine, but you're one of us. Act like it.
Yeah, but they still gonna try to get you. So my Chinese
Yeah,
buffer
bro.
protects me from getting got.
Well, you because you're not there on the ground enough.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not one
Yeah,
of them,
that's
right?
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you're you're a black Chinese to them.
yeah.
Even if you
Fuck
are
it,
one
I'll
of
take it.
them, they will still get you. It's just part of
They
the culture. There is no sleeping. There is no sleeping. That's why I always
Gotta
say
stay ready.
if you
Yeah, you gotta stay ready. Okay,
no,
all
there
right.
is no
Gotta
sleeping.
stay ready.
That's why I say if someone retires, like in Nigeria, when you retire, what you're basically doing is giving up all your power and hoping that your children don't say, you know something, father. I know you raised us and you give us the education, but you
Uh,
cost a lot of money.
Yeah,
God
See,
damn, bro.
Americans are not accepting. The thing is, America is actually trained in a systematic way. Okay, if I
yeah,
spend my money, I'm going to get A, B, and C
yes,
according to
yes,
the law. Right? It doesn't
yes.
work that way in other countries. Right?
It
It's more
doesn't.
about custom. Okay,
And
about knowing people.
relationship.
Yeah,
It's
you
more
you
about
gotta have that
relationship.
relationship, man. Cause
Yeah.
like I bought some shoes for some kids at the school and whatnot. And
Hmm.
I bought it from one lady,
Hmm.
and like, bro, like somebody they came out my car was like, oh, you need to go do this and do that. And I'm like, bro, I bought the shoes from this one lady, bro, and it was like her husband called and then somebody else came and called and said, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
had a
and
whole situation with that.
yeah,
I
wait,
was
wait,
like, whoa, bro, I already bought these shoes. They
and
would get out my face.
we got one. Okay, we got one. Okay, go hit him up. We got one. So you're
Yeah.
So
good.
So
so you
and I
really
just
got to
wanna
know
let
that.
me just say this real quick, because
Okay.
one thing we gotta do, especially on the global scale, black Americans gotta shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about our trauma and how we were treated as second
I
class citizens.
swear to God, the
That
motherfuckers be getting on my
let
nerves
me
with
let
that
me
shit.
let me finish.
Let it
That
finish.
hurts us in business because
Yeah.
when the Chinese come, they know the whole government is behind us. When you're black, you go to Africa, they know they can run you over because America ain't gonna do shit for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, that's
Why?
true.
Because we don't shut the fuck up.
And,
Black people.
Because
please.
America doesn't want you as a black person to go over and actually do this stuff. That's the problem. Okay, they
Yeah,
don't.
but we don't have to be telling the world that
That's
we were
true.
this and that, right?
That's
We
true.
we just look. We can tell each other that, but to the outside world, we need to be monsters because
Bro,
that's what people
they crying
respect.
on TikTok right now, bro. You can't stop these folk, bro.
No, but see,
No,
that's the
no,
thing.
no. We
Everybody
listen.
thinks
Yeah,
We
about
go,
listen.
sympathy.
go,
We listen.
let hot sauce finish. Go ahead.
Because the thing about it is, right? Like the thing about it is this, right? You got to understand something. A Chinese person taught me this, and it was the coldest shit I ever heard. He
Hmm.
said, "Sympathy turns into contempt." Right? They're only gonna feel. I'm only gonna feel sorry for you for so long before I start to hate you. And
Hmm.
say we always trying to get this sympathy card, right?
Hmm.
But sympathy turns into contempt. But the motherfucker who says, "I will rip your throat out," that's the person people respect.
It's
Because if
better
you
be
don't
it's
get
better be
what I
feared.
want, right? If you don't give me what I want, I will bomb your fucking country. That's what France says right now in their contracts. We have the right for continual colonization. If we feel that you have violated this in any way, we will invade you at our
Yeah.
own discretion.
All right. All right. Snake Man one closing thought and Zulu closing thought. And I'm actually gonna read my cash apps after that.
Closing thought. What can I say? Stay strong.
Ta-
That's just wanted to say. Hot sauce. We
Yeah,
are listening. We are listening. When Black Americans tell their stories, if you
mhm.
pay
yeah,
us,
we need to shut the fuck up.
if
We
you
need to
pay
shut
us,
Yeah, you pay us.
You
Okay.
pay them, boy.
Take the black pill, man. You got to be ruthless, like hot sauce says. Okay.
But I'm already there, bro. Like I'm already there, man.
Yeah. Well, you learned the hard way. But yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. Hey, bro. After they spun me out of like, was it like a couple $100 one time? Just
Yeah.
being nice. I learned that
That's
shit
cheap.
real
Oh,
quick. I was like, whoa,
that's
boy.
cheap. That's cheap. You got to wait
that's
cheap.
cheap. My
Yeah.
my own uncle swindled $10,000 out of my father. So
Hey, bro.
that's
Hey, bro.
cheap.
Hey, bro. You gotta understand. I was non-trusting for the beginning. So that for me giving that little $200-300 I lost, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, then lesson learned, bro. Lesson
Yeah.
learned. So,
Yep.
You must
Yep.
understand. You must become one with the darkness. Like
oh,
me, I
bro,
was born in
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. I was born in the
molded
dark.
by
In the
it.
dark. Okay.
I
hey,
didn't
bro, did you
understand
not
what.
know who this character is on my goddamn screen, bro? If you know who the fuck this character is, so you already know about my mentality, bro. So fuck that shit,
All
but
right. All right.
let me
All right.
tell you this,
All right. Hot sauce
bro.
closing thought before I read my cash
Oh,
apps.
my closing thought is, man, like, look, at the end of the day, man, sometimes we just gotta keep quiet, man, because goddamn, nobody gives a fuck
Oh yeah.
about
Dude,
our
when you go
struggles.
around, when you do, my thing is when you go to Africa, get a local necessarily that know how to speak the language necessarily, right? Two, don't do no business with a necessarily direct local. When I mean direct, like buying no land, buy all your land from an auction or something like that for the government. Two, necessarily be real acquainted necessarily with learning the local language, especially because whatever the dominant local language that you need to speak necessarily do that necessarily because
Yeah.
that's gonna help you out immensely
If,
when it comes to doing business and to just necessarily just moving around because
if you go over there, take your time, okay? Stop trying to be
yeah.
in a hurry and make money. Take your time. Slow down.
Bro, we only live 100 years though, bro. You talking?
No, no, no. I'm not. You know, you can't get it done in 6 months. Be there for a couple of years and take your time to actually wade your way in slowly.
Yeah, I can't. I went back hard 3 times in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take your
so
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So like that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go ahead and get it out here. Appreciate it, BGS. Appreciate it, Hot Sauce, man, Snake Man, and Hot Sauce. We
I
need to get
appreciate
together, boy, like dead ass, man. So hit me up.
Yeah.
it.
Oh, hot sauce is genius, man. Believe it or not, he knows
I
what he's doing.
heard. So
I'm well, I'm good at international trading business. This is my wheelhouse. This is my wheelhouse for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
listen
the
to him
other
when he
shit,
says
I'm
this stuff.
always but for the other stuff, I definitely defer to BGS because shit.
Well, they trained you well, sir. They trained you
Okay,
well.
thank you. All right,
Yeah.
take care.
All right.
Bye bye.
All right. Thanks. All right. Philip, thank you. Okay. Who else? Ray June, thank you. Victor, thank you. Who else? Uh, Brian, thank you. Gregory, thank you. And I think it's Diaspora L. Thank you for the cash apps. And this was just a drop in. I had planned to do something on high value men. I may still do it, but that'll probably be later since I've already done this one. Um, so my guest didn't show up and drop in, so we have to do it another time. And thank you, Dr. Thunder, for actually allowing me to actually use your your video, and go to Dr. Thunders to actually look at the whole video. So, and give them a like, give them a like, give them a thumbs up, give them a subscribe for at least 2 weeks and see what happens. Okay. Other than that, I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys maybe hopefully later. If not, I'll see you guys on Arts or on the Coliseum on Saturday. With that, I'm out. Peace.